refleksgreiene. Det er sånn purken også som prater på tingene sine. Refleksvæsker. Ja, det er sånn purken. Det kan være poten av. Fyrer på det. Jeg vet ikke hvorfor de kjøler han i hvert fall. Litt på loven. Håkon heter det. Eller det er fremtiden. Heter på bakom Håkon. Og det er loven. Og det er publiet. Kjækken, ha? Og det heter jo bare gale. Han kan ikke si om det er lovlig da, ikke? Jeg er helt i tringen. Jo, hva er skam? Det er stor forbannet skam. Iron Races for A to Z. Og fikk jeg Iron Races. Independence Day. Ja, da snakker vi med deg henne. Trillioner med sin planet merker i Roblox, og det er trillioner der i Roblox. Det er bare drit. Jeg glemte ikke å tenke meg. Gud, og ja, sånn som Gud. Kongen er blitt uheldiggjort. Kongen er blitt uheldiggjort med lov. Kongen var heldig før. Norske kongen var heldig før. Han var like heldig som Gud. Det var han. Politibiler hadde kors på krone på, akkurat som Gud, Jesus og krone og kors og... Ja. Kors og krone. Han var spørkning her, og jeg har det passende. Kongen har blitt helliggjort. De tror han skal bli glad. Han burde bli glad. Presten burde bli glad da. Hvorfor skulle ikke presten bli glad når Hitler ble blitt uheldiggjort da? Jeg tenkte, vet du, jeg skal... Ja, var ikke det forferdelig sånn? Var ikke det grusomt at kongen vår ble uheldiggjort? Ja, kong Harald, altså, kongen ble uheldiggjort, det synes du var... Det var ikke litt trist, da. Faen, det går for noe. Jeg føler så Gud jævla løk han nå. Gud og kongen, det er jo bare to Hitler og torturist. Og Gud og Jesus, Gud er torturist, og Gud og Jesus skal brenne i helvete til evig tid. Brenne i helvete til evig tid. Det finnes ikke verre tortur enn å brenne. Brenne folk, det er den verste, det må være verre enn alt. Og så til evig tid, det er tortur. Det er torturere, og det der kan man ha en torturist til Gud, og det der ingenting å ha. Være snill med folk, ikke holde på sånn som det der. Og sånn er det Hitler holder på, holder på med brenninger på mennesker, og så det.
Warning about poor leadership and nuclear poisoning of the earth.
People of Earth, I am Zawanadon from Herculon. We are your neighbors, located just 5 minutes away. Normally we communicate telepathically, but today we are using a device so you can hear voices you do not have. I can only spend a short time with you, and then I must go. I will impart as much wisdom as I can, and you must learn very quickly to benefit from my thoughts. We are 328 light years from Earth, but it does not take us long to travel home or to visit your beautiful blue planet, just 5 minutes. We increase our vibration level and enter a higher dimension where time and distance physics are different. This is why we can travel so great a distance in so little time. The speed of light is much faster than your scientists have calculated. Also, light does not travel in a straight line, and so your method of measuring distance is meaningless. Please do not be misled by our use of your terms for the distance of 328 light years. It is your scientists who place us at that distance, and this is incorrect. We are much farther. You have much to learn about the universe, and you will learn it if you survive. But the odds are against survival of any species, however strong, however brilliant they are. Your chances of survival can be compared with a soldier standing up and walking 5 kilometers across a battlefield, with armies on either side of him firing directly at him. You focus on riches and luxuries instead of what is really important, survival. Once you have learned about all the societies, you will respect life and not be so foolish about the most important aspect of life, survival. We have traveled to many star systems, and we have seen many civilizations. As we report that most societies do not survive, we also report that there are as many reasons for their failures as there are vanquished and extinct civilizations. You might think it's sad when a civilization is destroyed, but it's not sad at all. This is how the universe grooms itself and maintains perfect balance. You shed dead skin, and the universe sheds its waste as well. You practice many times at the piano, and then you give one great performance. The great performance you give depends upon all those trial runs that some would consider a waste, but the great performance is not possible without the trials, and societies are the same way. It's funny that you know very well that you must practice to get to Carnegie Hall, but you fail to see why it is necessary for most societies to vanish. Do you dispose of the video of years practicing to be a piano great? It is no longer useful, and so you discard it, as if you don't want to remember when you were learning. The factory does not put out perfect products, and some are rejects. In the universe, only the best one in 1,000 can prevail. I hope you understand the reason why creation chooses only one to replicate and all others must be scrapped. If you do not clean house, nature will do it for you. This is a fundamental law of the universe. If you think about it, you will agree that in most cases, the best thing that could happen is for the civilization to become extinct because it is flawed in some way and defeated by its problems. For example, one society failed because the leaders were greedy and selfish. Should those societies which cannot overcome greed exist at all? Another society failed because some would quickly sell out the rest for a quick profit. We have seen this on your planet, and if you have been unaware of it until now, you have no more excuses. Now you know. Do something about it. If any in the species would sell out the rest, should that society survive? If you use logic, you will see why such societies must vanish so that better ones will prevail. There are universal laws which must be obeyed. Service to self will not work. Service to others does work. If you have not discovered these universal laws, how can you follow them? Each individual in a society must be a moral being. When a society loses its morality, it must perish to make way for those with good intentions. Do you think anyone would desire to live in an unjust world, an immoral universe? Service to self individuals must be replaced by service to others types. Ask yourself which is better. Do you agree that nature should be comprised of the best and not be contaminated with inferior qualities of life? If only the best exists, then all progeny will be the best as well. So please do not ask us to save you when you get into trouble. Nature does not smile on those who prolong the life of a dying breed or species. If you are enslaved, it is not our kind which will save you. You may not ask us to arrest your violators and free you. This will have to be done by yourselves. Each of you has a little bit of power, but when you work together, the power is enormous. You must stop thinking that you are powerless and instead ask, what can I do? Every day you ask again, what can I do? Are you aware that everything can be defeated? Truth is the worst enemy of the dictator, and so you must know the truth and spread it. The more you spread the truth, the harder the dictator has to work to hide the truth. And since you outnumber the dictator by millions to one, you can easily defeat any dictator by spreading the truth. It is true you can do little by yourself, but your efforts multiply exponentially, and as a group, you have enormous strength and unlimited potential. The first step is to give up the notion that you are powerless, because that idea was put into your head by someone who wanted to control you. You are accustomed to solving simple problems instantly by yourself. If you are hungry, you go get a sandwich. Problem solved. Big problems are solved with behavior. Spreading truth is a habit you develop, and the dictator won't like this, and he will try to control you so you don't disseminate the truth. You defy the dictator by finding a way to get the truth out to others. Discover the secret and then spread the truth to others by any means you can find. Videos which are served by a server are ideal because once created, they work 24/7 for you. Do you like that term? I picked that up from one of your earthlings. The dictator works for decades to set up a lie, and you can tear it down in a day by creating a video and telling the truth to others. If everyone adopts this habit, the dictator can't continue to hold power over you. When he tries harder, push back harder still, and you can topple him. Do not ask, how can I cure this problem? Because one individual is too feeble to cure a big problem, especially one that was put into place over decades or centuries. This problem is solved by knowing how to poison the well of the dictator. Truth will undermine the dictator and topple him. Dig out the truth, then disseminate it, and watch the dictator fall swiftly. Each of you is like a single drop of rain, but when you fall from the atmosphere, along with other drops of rain, you can become a flood, or you can provide water for lakes and streams, and be an integral part of nature. You can build up a great society, or you can tear down a dictatorship. From this example, you can see that every drop of rain has value in the aggregate. You must appreciate first your own value, then the value of others to understand how each drop of rain plays a small role in providing all that is necessary to sustain life, prosperity, prosper and develop. We did not come here to give you lessons, and our visit here today is much like your stop for coffee or breakfast on your transcontinental odyssey in your own Terran travel craft. One day, perhaps, you will be much more powerful, but for now, you must do a small task in order to earn your place in this world. To begin to influence the world around you, you must begin with yourself. If you are doing nothing, then you have no value. If you begin tomorrow to participate in some small way, you change your value. As each day passes, you try to do more and your value grows. A seed can increase its value 10,000% in a single month. Consider a tomato seed. You can buy 1 ounce for $7.50, and there are 11,000 seeds. What is the cost of each? It's very small, but when you take action and plant a seed, in a month it germinates and has a value of $1. That's 10,000% growth. That is the value of a seedling, and it's yours just for taking action. The exponential growth of seeds is a design by extraterrestrials because we wanted this to be a world of plenty. Those who control you have convinced you that there is scarcity, and they force you to do without most of the things that you want. Do not accept this. Plant seeds. The truth is a tiny seed when you begin to spread it, but it grows exponentially when others hear your message of truth. Do not rely on spreading the truth by telling others, for this is inefficient. You have the internet today, and one well-thought-out message, properly recorded and decorated with images, can reach 25,000 people. And on this channel, you can see videos with views of 50,000 and more. One person can reach 500,000 in less than 1 year. You must recognize that this is the work of just one person who decided to put out a message. And if you are not capable of putting out a message, you should just put out the message of your favorite videos by posting them or linking to them, and that's doing your share. People who put forth no action are worthless, and they deserve to fail. Those who take action are valuable, and their value continues to grow like the base of a pyramid. The pyramid is a symbol of exponential growth, and it should be your model for taking action. You sit at the top of a very large pyramid, and as long as you do nothing, you are the base of that pyramid. You have two choices. 1, take action, or 2, do nothing. Value comes only from action, not inactivity. People who have a lot of value are deeply missed in their lives. Most people want to be loved, but they don't know how to make others love them. Be of value to others, and they will deeply miss you when you are no longer here. Many of you have noticed that your weather is changing. You have areas with drought and some with too much rain. Sometimes it's cold when it's supposed to be hot. Earthquakes and volcanoes are more common than before, and you're wondering why. Years ago, your scientists had a theory about nuclear physics. They thought it was possible to split the atom, and they were right, but they only understood part of the nuclear reactions and were unaware of the subatomic particles that were released by these nuclear reactions. Your scientists thought they understood, and little did they know that the subatomic particles pass through the containment vessels and damage it, so that after a decade, larger parts of the atom are able to escape. This was a disaster, and your scientists became aware of the damage caused by subatomic particles, but they did nothing to avert the destruction. Then scientists began to notice a hole in the ozone which allows deadly rays to attack the Earth. Still, your scientists did nothing because your leaders were greedy and they only cared about money, and they ignored all life forms. Earlier, you considered which life forms should exist. Logic tells you that any form of life which does not consider other forms of life and allows all forms of of life that perish should perish too, doesn't it? Greed and corruption will swiftly lead to disaster, and your course currently is total extinction, not only of your own kind, but all life on Earth. This ozone protects the life on Earth that all other life depends upon. It protects all living creatures from ultraviolet light, which kills all life forms. Skin cancer used to occur in only 1 in 1,500 people, and today it's 1 in 150. Does this suggest that something is wrong? Do you think your leaders are not aware of this? They amass fortunes which cannot be spent unless life prevails. They seek every opportunity to make a profit, but they do not tend to the preservation of the planet, so what good is the money? Greed makes people stupid. The lust for power over others is the driving force as well. This is why greed and the lust for power are vices, not virtues. Nuclear testing has now been done by many of your nations, and each one is contributing to the destruction of life on your planet. Life has no chance to survive now on your planet. Soon all life will cease to exist here on this beautiful planet. We cannot save you, and your leaders have no desire to save you. They seek profits now, and they don't care about tomorrow or the big picture. They are very foolish, and they deserve to die. We will not intervene, for this is your job. We have a duty to tell you, and if you do not take action as individuals, you will pay the price. Let me leave you with one last thought. War is unnecessary. We are all one. Any organism which attacks itself will die. We are finished, and now we must go. You will perish, and rightfully so.
says A to Z, first edition. Det var viktigt för mig. Notes from the book. The curse showed up again. Washington DC. From Peter Mason.
Nagas, also referred to as the reptoids, reptiloids, reptans, Homosaurus, lizard men, or the large-nosed greys. They play a significant role in the legends of India and Tibet, where they are considered by some to be demonical residents of a subterranean realm. They are described as being around 7 to 8 feet tall and of various colors, grotesque, but most often mouldy greenish with scaled crocodilian skin. After a reputed battle in ancient times between a pre-Scandinavian race from the Gobi region and a reptiloid race based in Antarctica, the reptilians allegedly lost the battle for domination of the surface world and were driven into underground networks in which they eventually developed aerial and space technology. The Nagas are said to have appeared at the birth of Gautama Siddhartha, who later became Buddha. B. The ancient well of Sheshana in Benares, India, is traditionally where the yoga aphorisms of Patanjali, a classical guide to students of yoga, was written. This well is said to be an entrance to one of the Nagas' underworld lairs. Nordics. Blonde, blue-eyed, angular faces. Although Nordics are humanoid and externally almost identical to humans, there are subtle differences in the Nordic alien physiology. Most of them are based on the living conditions. Their planets are extremely hot and dry, and have a low oxygen content in the atmosphere. They have a larger lung capacity than humans, and have a copper-based blood in order to carry oxygen more efficiently. The eyes are protected by inner lids, and can allow them to see into the ultraviolet range of the spectrum. They have only 28 teeth, as they lack a back pair of molars. Their heads are longer than humans. Negamak, aka Nomopo. First known visit to Earth happened only in 1989. They abduct humans and exercise control over the minds of their captives, which they use for their own benefit. After the captives' release, reason unknown, They are also one of the oldest races. This is the race that most human governments fear when considering the future of humans. This race was the inspiration for the alien race in the movie Independence Day. Note from Petro and B, the ARB states the same thing about another race. The Orange. These entities largely converge beneath southern Nevada, northern New Mexico and possibly Utah. Some sources refer to 1. A human race with stalk yellow, red or orange hair, others of 2. A genetically altered, humanoid reptiloid strain or hybrid. They are often described as having a humanoid form, yet certain reptilian genetic features. They are also said to possess human-like reproductive organs, and possibly, or not, a human soul matrix, and therefore a divergent branch of the human race, or reptiloid race depending on which type of orange one is referring to. As some accounts suggest, there may also be 3 orange-colored reptilians which possess no soul matrix. Refer to hybrids and hybrids. Some of the orange allegedly have connections to Bernard's star. These may also be the native Merians, Sitka or red giants. In 1911, miners were digging out layers of bat guano from a cave, located about 22 miles southwest.
Nå lanserer vi helt nye BMW 330e plug-in hybrid med inntil 59 km ren elektrisk rekkevidde. Sjekk vår leasingkampanjen, inkludert nye utstyr for kun 2.990 per måned på BMW.no.
West of Lovelock, Nevada, when they came upon the mummified remains, which would have stood 6½ feet tall alive. The mummy was still crowned with distinctly red hair. The ancient legends of the local Paiute Indians described a race of red-haired giants who were the enemies of many Indian tribes of the region. The Pleiadians. They come from solar systems surrounding the Pleiadian stars, more precisely from the planet Terra, near the star Theta. They are associated with spiritual growth. They can grow up to 2.5 meters, 8 feet. They practice sex cultivation, the distinct difference between their sexual expressions and their sensual emotions. Their ships are known as beam ships. Although regularly visiting Earth, they have remained mostly silent since 10,000 BC. They are one of the oldest known races. They continue to develop the necessary mental skills to eventually reach their goal, higher spiritual state. Puritatilamu, aka Nozif 7. Their origin is unknown. They are often sighted in the northwest of USA, especially in the Oregon area. They have a special interest about Earth's oceans, and are known to have underwater ships. They are peaceful and mostly nocturnal. Last sighted in the year of 2000, near San Francisco, USA. Track. Of the 58 races described in the book ARB, this is the race that least visited Earth, that we know of so far, only 5 times. They visited the area we know as the Middle East, and that created the belief in the jinn, or jinnis, in Islamic mythology. According to some Muslim scholars, they inhabit an unseen world, in a dimension beyond the existing dimensions of our universe. According to reports from other alien races, they stopped visiting Earth because their immune system could not cope with Earth's fauna and flora. Last recorded visit, 712 AD. Romay. They come from Cabela, constellation or Iga, known to be a very peaceful race. They tried to coexist with humans. They created the Mayan civilization, culture, by placing humans from different places on Earth, in South America. They are a race of scientists. They taught the Mayans about astronomy and time. They left Earth when the Mayans were at their highest splendor. After that, the Mayans started their well-known blood sacrifices in honor of Romay. Last sighting, Bora Bora in 2001. Smat. They come from planet's folk, constellation Bacteria. Their ships have conial shape. They resemble humans in appearance. According to one alien race, they have only 6 ships left. They colonized 20 planets. 18 of them were inhabited. First visit to Earth happened 2,500 years ago. They are very interested in our religious beliefs. They are a race in decline, weakening, according to other races. Strong. They come from constellation Ursa Minor. Stroms are invertebrates and coelenterates. Their average height is 2 meters. Vegetation is of great importance to their culture, and main reason for their visits to Earth. They have been on Earth at least 200 times. They act with extreme caution, and are rarely seen by humans. First visited Earth at the end of the last big ice age. They have 20 colonies in the Via Lactea galaxy. Their ships have the shape of an octagon. Last sighting, October 1976 in Oregon, USA. Syrians, or Sa.am. The Syrians were seeded, and evolved much later than the Aryans. It's a significantly younger star race, but much older than mankind. In their basic biokind, they are apparently a wolf, reptilian species, but also with cat-like features. Both females and males have golden brown, dark, or red manes. Their ancestors, from whom this star race was genetically engineered, were wolf-cat-like creatures, which seem to have been a blend between a dog, wolf, a cat, and a reptile. This is where we get the name dog star for Sirius from, the word dog stemming from the Aryan word dak, pronounced similar to the German word dock. Our ancestors were well aware of the origins of these star visitors, and where they came from. We can sometimes get a hint of how they looked like in the Sumerian tablets as well, although the bodies they used here on Earth, and still do, are not really their original bodies, but were genetically manipulated and cloned to blend in better with the human societies of the time. Taris. Their origin is unknown. They are often seen near, or flying by volcanoes. Identified due to the exquisite nature of their ships. They have never contacted humans, and there are no reports of violence or abductions. Even though they are discreet in their presence on Earth, they do not try to hide from view. There are several contradictory reports about their appearance. Last sighted off the coast of Norway in 2000. TSA-3. Their origin is unknown. There are reports stating that it takes them near to Earth years to get to this planet. They are the survivors of an extinct reptoid race, and do not possess the same level of technology and knowledge as other races visiting the Earth. They have some human characteristics, such as skin. In 1977-78, near Siena, Italy, 2 of their species were captured, after landing behind a church in ruins. 3 days later they were transferred to a US air base, still in Italy, and finally taken to an undisclosed location where, supposedly, they still remain. Contacts have mentioned somewhere in the South Pacific, or in another US base near Japan. The USSR Apis-3 was able to get hold of one video recording of this species. Last sighting, January 3rd, 2001, near Victoria, Canada. Tengri. They come from planet Tengri, Galactic Sector 56, Star System F1342. They live underground and have a population of 10 million. First visit to Earth, 10,000 years ago. They do not need an atmosphere or water to survive. They have one ship that can accommodate 5 million of their kind. They have had contact with human governments throughout history. Last known sighting near Buenos Aires, Argentina, 2003. Tanzania. They come from constellation Perseus, near the star Gorgonia Secunda. They can live up to 500 years and are around 1.7 meters tall. Technologically they are extremely advanced. They have caused thousands, maybe millions of deaths on Earth and other planets, as one of their interests, or area of study, to see how other races react to tragedies and catalysts. One alien race reported that they, the Tanzania, caused both crashing of the Hindenburg, as well as the sinking of Titanic. They are avoided by other races. Last sighting, January 1999, in New York. Telosian. Tall, blonde inhabitants of a re-established network of subsurface antediluvian colonies located throughout the western states, and concentrated around Mount Shasta in northern California. They are sometimes referred to erroneously as Lemurians, as it is believed that the cavern cities which they rediscovered and built upon were once part of an antediluvian civilization called Lemuria, Emu. They may have loose contact with the Pleiadians and other groups via ancient ancestral ties, since the Telosians are Earth natives who allegedly possess interstellar vehicles, and are a western branch of the sub-international Agati network and its Silver Fleet. The name Telos is a Greek word meaning uttermost or purpose, yet some of the inhabitants refer to ancient ties with Neo-Mayan tribes, and therefore many of them may possess a Greco-Mayan ancestry. Some ancient Vedic texts speak of a collaboration between the Greeks and the East Indians, who some believe gave rise to the Mayas, in the development and construction of aerial craft called Vimanas. Telosians are part of a Melchizedek spiritual order with connections to the Ashtar collective mind, and have dealings with extraterrestrials in Arcturus, Sirius, and Saturn, as well as with other dimensional beings. The Teros. Teros, which is short from integrative or constructive, are a subsurface race that usually keep the Teros in check. The Teros were the original tribe of the Lunarians, who came to this planet to dwell beneath the surface of the Earth. They are referred to as the Sunanans, meaning the yearly ones. The Teros were for disagreeable people, and the Teros were for agreeable people. Their chief is named Lamza. The Teros came from the planet Joman, in the star constellation Arcturus, which is in the Boots constellation. Arcturus, the red giant, the fourth brightest star in heaven, is where much mixing took place. The Sunanans have 48 chromosomes instead of the normal 46 that Earth people possess. The Pteros chromosome structure is so different from Earthlings that when mixed with certain humans, it caused a defect of 47 chromosomes, which today is called Down's syndrome. Their children are usually born with breathing defects, as well as congenital heart disease, and they also have poor digestive systems. Their immune system is unable to function properly, and they are more apartment to developing leukemia. The Pteros that have an abundance of pigmentation in their skin are descendants of the Shuayuk. Those who are lacking pigmentation are descendants of the Halobeans, Flagellates or Hulub. The Pteros bored further into the earth, and were able to keep their sanity. Because of crossbreeding, the Pteros took on different forms. Some look so human they can come to the surface and not be noticed. Most of the legends of leprechauns and trolls derive from this species. The Umites. Humans claiming to hail from the general area of Wolf 424, some 14 plus light years distant from the Earth's Sol system, and possibly having ancient ties with the Lyran colonies, in that the Umites from the planet Umo are like the Lyrans Pleiadians, said to be Scandinavian in appearance, and therefore may tie in with the so-called Nordic or Blonde societies. They reportedly work closely with the vegan humanoids. Vegans. Relatively peaceful and gentle humans, descended from refugees from the Lyran Wars, who work closely with other refugee colonists, now living in the Pleiades, Wolf 424, and elsewhere. Often described as dark-skinned Orientals, similar to the native residents of the nation of India. Vega was one of the first Lyran civilizations to develop a unique and cohesive identity, which assisted in seeding and colonizing many systems, including Altair, Centauri, Sirius and Orion. Physical characteristics of the vegans. A. Standard vegan, 6 to 7 feet tall, darker skin, sometimes copper-toned, non-Caucasian, black hair, very large eyes with dark pupil and iris, and one lid. Blood is green. B. Non-human type vegans. Humanoid or mammal, yet their appearance is more insect-like or reptilian. Their skin is dark, sometimes even with a green or brownish tinge. Venusians. There are many stories about inhabitants of Venus. Surface colonies allegedly exist in biodome cities, whereas still others reportedly live in the antimatter counterpart of Venus, which in the alternate universe is part of a 12-planet alliance, called the Cold Asian Alliance according to some contactees. The Pleiadians also claim to have colonized the antimatter universe, which they call the Dull Universe. One of these races that are said to live on Venus are the Hautha, mentioned by Bob Fritz. They are a fourth-dimensional race. Another race of Venusian origin is mentioned by Dr. Daniel Fry in the White Sands incident. The Norse are said to be an etheric higher-dimensional race. When they choose to take physical shape, they look like Earth's Nordic races. They supposedly are one of the eldest races in our solar system, and are members of the Galactic Council. The Norse no longer inhabit Venus. Vinegarin. They come from constellation Phaedo, and are vegetarians. They are a very respected and peaceful race, presumably with mystical powers. They have come to Earth at least since 1000 AD. They can live up to 2000 years. Their height is similar to that of a normal human. Last sighting near Odessa, Ukraine in July of 1995. Zeta Reticuli, aka Shambhala. Often confused because of their appearance with the races Matra and Solid Sirae, the Greys. They come from constellation nets. They are allies of the Anunnaki and cooperate with them on different planets. They are representatives of the Anunnaki on Earth and send them information about humans and this planet at least 25 times per year. The Anunnaki created a subspecies of the Zeta with the purpose of making them look more human-like, but leaving enough physical differences for humans to distinguish them. They became some of the pharaohs of Egypt. The most well-known was Akhenaten, who was removed from power by reptilians. They infiltrated themselves in the court as temple priests. First reports of Zetas on Earth go back to 4000 AD. But that number is most likely higher. They were the first hybrids to be engineered by the Anunnaki. The Zeta subspecies still exist on Earth, and still, at least 30% present the same physical differences created in them. The sexual organs of the subspecies are in every aspect the same as that of humans. Their Zetas still exist on Earth in both forms. The original and the hybrid subspecies. Their location on Earth is unknown.
Det er de som vi kaller mongolider, eller medonner, det er de der mongolider som vi kaller mongolider, de var en kristen og en rase, og en ene rase mennesker. Det gjorde de sånn ut. Det var en hol mongolider, de som kaller mongoloder. De var, disse ADHD også er aliens. De kaller oss syk fordi vi er en annen planet. De kaller oss syk, sinnssyk. Det er sløkka, da er de sløkka, da er de så sløkka det går an å bli. Nå blir jeg redd opp. Det var det en pensteg, folkene. De var jo slett redd, myndighetene litt redd. Siden som var meg. Vi kan jo... Det er et møte med... Noen har spurt om å møte en amerikansk president. Og jeg sa nei, fordi at jeg var redd at de kunne lese tankene deres og finne ut om hemmelighetene deres. Ja, Håkon, dette her er jo helt opp til virkelighetsbehag. Kan konge nå. Kongen, jeg skal gjøre det, kongen. Skal du få sviden drit. Luna kommer på månen. Luna blir månen. Og der var lunatic. Det ga. Engelsk ord lunatic. Det ga og luna. Ja. Luna blir månen, og derfor har vi det engelske ordet lunatic, så betyr ga. Anstrengende å holde på med det. Ikke bare Så nå jeg kjapt jodde, og så er det fred. Så er det slutt. Jeg vet ikke nok til mange som skal sende det. Den jordiske, denne mange. Han ga det hodet, men jeg er sikkert sånn. Det var til mamma som ga det hodet til mamma fikk ikke, hun kunne ikke ha mamma. Broren til pappa. Jeg tror det var broren til pappa som kom besøkt oss alltid. Han var glad i hodet. Sammen med hva det var på jobben skulle få være. Ingen tenker på det samme. Ja, ja. Det er ikke så glass for livet. Det var en fin dag til jul igjen. Familien og alle som andre kjente familien, alle jorden, alle sammen, mamma og pappa. Jeg ble på Trine som kom til månen og ble døde. Døde kom til månen. ikke har det renner av nesen til Hitler. Håkon. Ja, Hitler har vondt i magen, det rant av nesen hans, og han begynte kokain og sånn for å rense opp de greiene der. Han har mye ofte nesen på de som bruker sånn. Han er Håkon rant jo av nesen på jeg på skole og var liten. Og det er så Frode. Ene til Frode, jeg og pappa. Vondt i magen alderen og rant av nesen og fryser mye og en pungstein og pungstein opp og ned og Hitler er stygg. Hitler, han er ond. Mest hatete menneske i historien. Faen, det kommer på spill. Ronaldo! Er du sprettet? Stilig. Men jeg ser ikke om dette her er to på øynene og hodet og alt. Hør på det. å lage ting. Vondt i magen. Hitler, jeg heter Hitler vondt i magen. Håkon har vondt i magen. Håkon har vondt i magen. Det er Olav får ikke puste. Hitler vondt i magen. Olav får ikke puste. Men Hitler vondt i magen. Det er Hitler får ikke puste. Hitler vondt i magen. Det er Hitler får ikke puste. Hitler fryser. Okay, man er Hitler. Hitler var på Venus, han. Han er på Venus, han.
Factsverse presents 10 facts about Hitler you didn't know about. Number 1. He had a crush on a Jewish girl. It sounds pretty crazy that a man who was so intent on destroying the entire Jewish religion and everyone who was Jewish once had a crush on a Jewish girl. When he was in school and he wasn't the evil monster he grew up to be, he had a crush on a Jewish girl named Stephanie Isaac. When he was younger, he was very shy, and he never told her how he felt. He did, however, have fantasies about her. In some of his daydreams, they ran off together. In others, he was kidnapping her for his own pleasure, and they were killing themselves together. Maybe the reason he was so ruthless with the Jews was because a Jewish girl was the one that got away. Number 2. He had digestive issues and gas. Hitler had some serious gastrointestinal issues for most of his life. These problems caused him to be very gassy. He was also plagued with frequent cramps, stomach pains, diarrhea, constipation, and severe discomfort after meals. It makes you wonder if he was afraid to let one loose when he was speaking in front of thousands of people, or if his Nazi army knew about his GI problems. Number 3. He used drugs and bull semen. Throughout his life, Hitler used plenty of drugs. According to the dictator's medical records that went up for auction at Alexander Historical Auctions in Stamford, Connecticut, he took over 30 prescription medications throughout his life. It's also said that he used cocaine. According to records, he told his people that he needed cocaine to clear his nasal passages. Finally, the most disturbing fact: there have been reports that Hitler shot himself up with bull semen to get boosts in his libido when he took women to bed. Number 4. He was a pervert. Of the 10 facts about Hitler you didn't know about, this is the most disturbing. Hitler was known for getting handsy with women. Whether they wanted it or not, he had no problem grabbing women in their private places. He didn't stop there. He also had a crush on his niece, Gelly Raubel. It is rumored that the two had a sexual relationship. In 1931, Gelly died. According to authorities, she died of an apparent suicide. Ever since she died, people had speculated that Hitler was responsible for her death. She was only 23 when she passed away. Number 5. He had a nephew in the United States Navy. In 1911, Hitler's brother's son, William Patrick Hitler, was born in Ireland. When he moved to the United States, he joined the United States Navy, and he fought against his uncle. It is reported that he fought alongside his uncle as well. It is believed that he was planted there to get to know the enemy so that the U.S. could take them down. After the war in 1933, he moved to Germany, where he worked at the Reich Credit Bank in Berlin. In 1942, William was imprisoned by the Soviet Union, and at Hitler's recommendation, he was killed. Number 6. There were 42 attempts on his life. During his reign of terror, Hitler survived 42 attempted assassinations. Someone attempted to poison him at an event at the Hotel Kaiserhof. The Luttner Group in Königsberg also tried to assassinate him. Unknown assailants tried to kill him in 1934 twice in 1937, and twice in 1943. The most famous attempt was by Klaus von Stauffenberg. He tried to kill Hitler in Wolf's Lair. The attempt was codenamed Operation Valkyrie. Klaus wanted to kill Hitler so that he could take control of Germany and its army. Number 7. He only had one testicle. Many people believe that because Hitler had only one testicle, that it gave him an inferiority complex, which made him feel the need to rule with an iron fist. He was born with 2 testicles. However, during World War I, he was injured, and the doctors had to remove his testicle to save his life. The injury occurred during the Battle of the Somme in 1916. During World War II, people even made up silly songs about the fact that he had only one testicle. Rumor also has it that he had a very small penis. Number 8. He dropped out of high school. Hitler hated school, and it didn't interest him at all. He also didn't like being told what to do by his teachers. Because of this, he quit school when he was 16 years old. This is pretty shocking, considering he went on to be the ruler of a country and an army. There were some subjects in school that he enjoyed: art and war. He even studied fine art in Venice, Italy at one point in his life. Number 9. He had dreams of becoming a priest. When Hitler was 14 years old, he fell in a lake in the middle of the winter. A priest came by and pulled him out of the water, saving him from frostbite and hypothermia. The priest had such an impact on his life that he decided he wanted to be a priest as well. As he got older, he learned about history and war, and he decided that rather than serving God, he wanted to be God. The world would be much different if he had just stuck with his original plan of being a priest. Number 10. He didn't know how to drive. Throughout his whole life and his reign of terror, Hitler never learned to drive. Some people believe that he had no interest in driving, and others believe that he didn't want to try just in case he failed. Considering he led an entire army, it is strange that he never learned to drive a car. Subscribe for more.
Number 1. Hitler was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 1939. He was nominated by Brandt, a member of the Swedish Parliament. The man was a dedicated anti-fascist, and he made the nomination as a joke, but unsurprisingly, his sarcasm wasn't very well received. Number 2. Hitler invented the blow-up sex doll. German troops were getting syphilis from engaging with French prostitutes, so to counteract this, Hitler had lifelike dolls made that could pack into soldiers' bags and provide comfort when needed. Number 3. Hitler's first love was a Jewish girl. Lacking courage, he never spoke to her. He was only 16 at the time, and he wrote a number of love poems about her. Some sources claim he even contemplated suicide, as an escape from the suffering unrequited love caused him. Number 4. Hitler led the first public anti-smoking campaign in modern history. The Nazi anti-tobacco campaign banned smoking in public transport vehicles and raised the tobacco tax. They also promoted health education and organized lectures for soldiers. Number 5. Hitler was a vegetarian and created laws against animal cruelty. He passed laws which regulated animal slaughter as well as animal transport. Most importantly, he prohibited hunting and limited animal testing. Unfortunately, the animals previously used in medical experiments were replaced by the Jews. Number 6. Hitler was saved from drowning by a priest when he was 4 years old. The priest was around Hitler's age and jumped to the rescue when the ice under Hitler's feet cracked and he sank into the freezing water. Ironically, the hero grew up to regret the incident. Number 7. During the First World War, a British soldier spared the life of a wounded German. That German was Adolf Hitler. The soldier had a clear aim to kill at point blank, but he decided not to shoot. Hitler later found an article about the soldier, recognized him in the picture, and saved the clipping. Number 8. Hitler planned to collect thousands of Jewish artifacts to build a museum of an extinct race after the war. He ordered the collection of 200,000 items, which were photographed and catalogued. The collection was meant to serve as a trophy case. Number 9. Hitler never once visited a single concentration camp. In fact, he was very careful about keeping a safe distance from all the dirty work. He deliberately spoke very vaguely about the subject, and no written order about the killings ever existed. He gave the most sensitive orders exclusively and verbally. Number 10. Hitler only had one testicle. Reportedly, he was injured in battle, with his abdomen and groin suffering most of the damage. As a result, he lost one of his testicles. The war doctor supports this claim, although no conclusive evidence was ever made public.
Visste at du burde sjekke øynene like ofte som du sjekker tennene? Nei. Heldigvis tilbyr Introptik en utvidet synsundersøkelse med Optomap, så kan
Adolf Hitler is the very personification
Adolf Hitler is most famous for being a dictator of Nazi Germany. His charismatic figure found many followers. He was the fourth of the 6 children born to Alois and Clara Hitler. His father had only elementary school education, but worked hard to become an inspector in the customs sector of Austria. Hitler had to repeat a year of school since he failed his exams. When he was 15, he was not sure if he wanted to continue going to school. He served in the army during World War I. In 1923, he failed in his attempts to take over Germany and was jailed as a result. While he was in jail, he wrote Mein Kampf, or My Struggle, a book where he laid out his plans of building Germany into a superpower. The 2 volumes of his books were published after he walked out of prison. The Germans immediately fell for his charms. Hitler got the most number of votes in the 1934 elections. He established a National Socialist system which was people-centered and led by one leader, rather a dictator.
Nu var det där jag på med. Men kan du sagt att vita när du får ont i magen, så att vita att kanske det heter så inte det heter så inte så kanske du vet det, märker det. Första framme står Alien Races för återsatt. Sen kommer andra del. Happy New Year. Estimation of survival. This fallen message are handwritten. Tillbud på bil. Diagnosen. Bush will do what Bush is told after once before him. Connect London, Berlin and Cairo. The Pope and the Pope and the guest meets again last week with Way. The Pope and Castro met again last week with Matri.
D'Orsay. They grow to a maximum height of 0.5 meters. They have visited Earth at least 250 times. They come from Cassiopeia, where they have 2 home planets. They eat other aliens as well as humans. Their race is at least 4 billion years old, and they have been in a constant state of war with another alien species for 2 billion years. Last sighting on Earth, November 2001, Italian Alps. characterize. Their height is around 2.5 meters. They have a very complex structure of their skull. Visited Earth at least 20 times. They carry out human abductions which they use for human reproduction. They have abducted at least 520 humans, males and females. They come from the third star in the constellation Cetus. They have 2 home planets and have colonized at least 40 planets, with the help of slaves. 10 of those planets were taken with use of force. They work together with 3 other races. They mostly eat animal protein-derived products. According to alien reports, they are not mentally, spiritually prepared to interact with most other races. Their home planet's chemical composition is similar to Earth. They are supposed to reveal themselves to humans in open manner in 2022. Elmonk. They come from constellation Grius, near the star Alnair. They are one of the most peaceful races. They co-created the Alliance of the 5 Races, Council of the 5. The Council of the 5 are a group of 5 aliens races that protect humans against less peaceful races. They coined the sentence, 5 universes, 2,500 species, 1 race. The Council is supposed to meet in Earth during the last 10 days of August 2013, the reason being the fact that Earth has been receiving too many visits from new races in the past 500 years. Last sighting on Earth, near the Sea of Cortez, September 2002. Elfaf. They come from constellation Boots, near Acelus Primus. They also resemble the Greys, but are not related. This race has 4 different genders and they are known to be benevolent. The purpose of their visits is unknown, but they seem to have a special interest on raw materials, minerals, as they have been often sighted near old mines. Last sighting, San Isidro de El General, Costa Rica, in 2005. Elena. Supposedly this is the race that started the myth of elves, elf. They are sighted often in the Germanic countries, deep in the forest. They are not known to be lethal to humans, however they are known as being pranksters. It seems that they are enjoying scaring humans when these get too close. It has been reported that they have lured humans away from their cars in order to steal their possessions. Once the humans are far away from their vehicles, and they already have stolen what they wanted, they frighten them, which makes the humans leave the location. Last sighting, near Muken, Germany in December 2001. The Council of 5. Or Ela. Egarat. Invo. Ridden. Immer there. Very little is known about the 5 alien races that are part of the Council of 5. It is generally agreed that the Immer is the most important race, not only to the Council but also amongst all known races. This race are related to the Solipsirae, but much older and advanced in all levels. They were one of the races who found the Council. They met with USA President D. Eisenhower in 3 different occasions. They also met with 2 high-ranking USSR leaders in 3 different occasions. They tried, without any force upon humans, to meet with USA President R. Nixon, but he refused, claiming that it would be too dangerous, as they maybe could read his mind and find out about delicate national security secrets concerning the relations with the USSR. The races that are part of this council, previously known as the Council of 9, have been protecting Earth and the humans for as long as there are alien records of it. Some say that they have been protecting the planet even before humans existed, for millions of years. An alien race reported that the Council of Five last met on Earth in 1944. Note from Petro and myself, we found a handwritten note on the ARB dated July 2005 stating that the Council of Five is going to meet on Earth during the last 10 days of August 2013. The same note also mentioned the fact that the presence and arrival of those races could cause cosmic events that could affect Earth's atmosphere. It also said that humans would be seeing an increase of alien ships activity during this period. The note also states that the meeting of the Council is to discuss possible threats to Earth and humans, as well as the fact that so many new races have been visiting Earth lately. By lately, the note states that it means the past 500 years. According to several alien races, the Council of Five, at that time, Council of Nine, has monitored human evolution since primordial times, since humans were only a one-cell marine organism, and throughout all natural evolution, when humans became primate-like creatures and beyond, after the Anunnaki, aka Anunnaki interference. According to those same alien races, all evolutionary sequences in all planets have a beginning and an end, with exception of minor details due mostly to radical weather changes, after the Anunnaki tampered with the DNA of primates and created humans. The Council of Five decided not only to monitor, but also to protect us, as they realized that one day humans would be able to join other alien races in development and enlightenment. X1Z. Only sighted 2 times on Earth. According to reports from other races, they are able to shapeshift as many as 4 times in 10 seconds. Their origin is unknown. They conduct human abductions and perform medical experiments on the subjects. They have been visiting Earth since the mid-1500s. The only confirmed sightings happened near Elazığ, Turkey. X5 Tiget. This race was created by the race Matra in order to be used as slaves, and that is what they still are being used as. They are often sent by the Matra to security-sensitive regions, working as messengers and also to conduct abductions. They can live forever as they are not organic. However, the raw materials that the Matra needs to build one are very rare, so there are not many of them, estimation, less than 300. They are able to use rational thinking, as well as flying ships and many other tasks. Last seen on Earth in July 1997, near Brisbane, Australia. (2017). They have only contacted humans one time, in the USSR in 1935. They come from the galaxy UDFJ 39,546,284, estimated distance from Earth. Our standard is 13.2 billion light years. According to reports, they were tall, had blonde long hair and smelled like flowers. They travel by using what other alien races call wormholes, which allows them to bend space. According to reports, they spoke some kind of Slavic dialect. They left a written message with about 10 sentences. Note from myself and Petro, on the original ARB, our copy/edition, 9 of the sentences left by this race are blacked out. The only one that is not blacked out is the following: 2017 to 2022. The felines. The lion people. The felines are one of the 2 primary races in our universe. They arrived here by invitation of the founders. The overall feline temperament is warm, sanguine and intellectual. As they mature, they take on more of a somber, introspective and gentle nature. The elders are revered for their wisdom, compassion and insight. As part of the universal game, the founders gave the felines a new planet in the Lyra constellation for their home. The felines named it Avon. Now, this is not the exact pronunciation, nor spelling, but it is close enough. The real name cannot be translated into English. Their eye color ranges from blue to gold and can change from blue to gold as they mature. They also turn from a golden brown color to white. Devin, feline, is the reigning patriarch of the 9D royal house of Avon, and Anu, human, is the reigning patriarch of the 5D royal house of Avon at this time. Jism. The Giza people have been referred to by the Pleiadians, Billy Mayer contacts, as well as others. This may have some connection with the strange people and technology allegedly encountered in deep labyrinthine recesses beneath Egypt, who were sometimes reportedly seen by explorers, and who are said to dress like ancient Egyptians. There is allegedly, according to leading-edge research, a huge cavern deep beneath Egypt which is inhabited by people with close ties with the US secret government. Some sources indicate that the Giza people may be a controlled society with the reptilians being the dominant power, although there is still much mystery as to what the Giza Empire is all about. Gracely. Their height average is the same as that of humans, and are covered with soft silky hair. They have 2 home planets in the Virgo star system. They have visited Earth at least 12 times. Their first visit happened during the era, dynasties, of Egypt's pharaohs, around 3,000 years ago. They spent 10 uninterrupted years there during that time. The Giza pyramid was built in their honor. They have been keeping a close look at humans' development for the past 200 years, knowing that some powerful humans can, and are, being misled by some alien races, disguised as humans. Their ships only contains 6 of them, while traveling. Last sightings, July 2002, and February 2004. Solipsirae, aka the Greys. They come from constellation Cygnus, peaceful and harmonious race. They have one main leader and his name is Martin. Their civilization is 2 billion years old. Once they were at same level of development as ourselves. They have no colonies. They are completely focused on the development of other planets and races. They do have one powerful weapon that keeps some neighboring violent races away, and others that may try to invade them. At one time race Matra lost 5 ships because of it. They said that the human race in the next few thousands of years still has 645 options left to save ourselves, our planet, and to guarantee a future for our race. But it will depend on our ability to travel to space. They are Solipsirae, but humans call them the Greys. The Invisibles. They come from constellation Mensa. This race is known to have been seen near high security areas. They are almost completely invisible to the naked eye. Both the US and Russian military have developed technology that allows them to track them down on radar. Only the ships. 3 things are known all about this race. 1. They leave a sour smell when they are near. 2. When they are near windows you can see their reflection as a smudged-like figure have been caught on CCTV footage. 3. When dogs start to bark with no apparent reason it is possible that they are nearby, or reptoids/reptilians. Purpose of presence, unknown. Iguanoids. Approximately 4 to 5 feet tall, with iguana-like appearance yet hominoid configuration. They have sometimes been seen wearing black hooded monk robes, or cloaks which conceal much of their saurian features, which include tails. These have been reported as being extremely dangerous and hateful towards humans and lesser-ranking reptiloids such as greys. And like all other branches of the serpent race, they utilize black witchcraft, sorcery and other forms of mind control against their enemies. They appear to be a dimension-hopping sorcerer or priest class among the reptiloid species. Ended, aka tall whites. This race has several bases on and in the moon, where they mine unknown materials. They use as slaves to do most of their work. These slaves are extremely well taken care of, and the Endig see them as indispensable. Their operations on and in the moon are very secretive. They are in almost permanent contact with high-ranking officials from the USA, China, and Russian federal governments. They have the ability to shape-shift into an almost perfect human form. They are also known as Men in Black, as they use special dark suits to protect their skin when in human shape while conducting special operations on Earth. Gigantic. They come from constellation Horologium and are known to have allies with the race Matra. Maintains sporadic contacts with 3 Earth governments, but not the most powerful ones, not the US, Russia or China. Considered to have a violent nature by other races. They have been visiting Earth for 3,000 years. Last sighting, near Houston, USA, February 1st, 2003. Fuck. They come from constellation Endus. They are known by other races as peacemakers. They are very advanced technologically. Their first sighting on Earth dates back to 1500 BC. They met with JFK 3 weeks before he was killed. They have also, around the same time, met with other human world leaders. They have not been seen on Earth since JFK's death. In 1965, they gave a message to the human leaders of countries with nuclear capability, content unknown. Kelnia. They come from constellation Aquila, star-raised. They have colonized 3 planets, and have a lifespan of 150 years. They are often sighted in northern Africa and the Sahara region. First visited Earth around 300 BC. They do not conduct abductions. Main interest about Earth, minerals. Last sighted in 2003 near a volcano in Iceland. Kilometer, aka KR. They come from constellation Crux, near Gacrux. It is a very hard race to track down or spot. Both the US and the Russian military have developed a special camera and radar system that allows to spot them when they are on Earth. But even then, they have only been sighted 8 times. The purpose of their presence is unknown. When they are sighted, it is usually in the area known as the Bermuda Triangle. Killy-Dockert. They come from constellation Vela, near the star Sahel al-Malif. They grow up to 2 meters high, 6, and live up to 200 years. They can shape-shift, but there is one thing they cannot change, and that is the size and color of their eyes. They are one of the oldest known races. They do abduct humans. Last seen on Earth in July of 2008. Kurs, aka gods of lands. They come from the planet Delimons, believed to be related to the race Anunnaki. They are the race behind the story of Enlil and Ninlil. They were directly involved on the development of the human race during early stages. They spent time immersed in a precious gold-like liquid that presumably extends their lifespan. After centuries away from Earth, they have recently returned. Their own leader is amongst the most recent visitors. They will now stay on Earth permanently. They will have an important role in the years to come. Lyran. With its celestial keys, its chords of air, its frets of fire, the Samian's great Aeolian lyre, rising through all its sevenfold bars, from Earth unto the fixed stars. They come in all shapes, sizes from dark-skinned to Caucasian. There is supposedly a red-haired, light-skinned giant race, with rather large features. Lyrans were evidently driven out of their star system several thousand of years ago, and relocated to many areas in the galaxy. The Lyrans were the original ancestors of our galactic family. Many thousands of years ago their civilization reached a very high technological level, however fell into disagreement and factions within their culture. These factions went to war and destroyed much of their society. Many of these beings from Lyra left in their starships to colonize the Pleiades, the Hyades, and the Vega system. This region, like our own system, may still be a battleground between Saurian Greys and humans. Some of these Pleiadians of Lyrian ancestors also came to Earth during the Lemurians and Atlanteans period. These other civilizations could be looked at as our galactic cousins. Lang. They come from the sixth star in the constellation Coma Berenices. They have 3 home planets, maybe 4, and have colonized at least 10. Small species growing to 70 centimeters. They were one of the first races to visit Earth. This race started the stories about elves. 2 alien races claim that they, race Lang, have abducted over 10 million humans throughout history. That number is highly disputed by 2 other alien races. They state that the number is much lower. And one race even made a statement to a Russian president, saying that the race Lang has never abducted any humans. Last sighting, New Zealand, in 2006. A group of 20 members. Matra. They have 2 home planets in constellation Megapae. Same average height as humans. They are hermaphrodites, and their lifespan is 120 years. They have colonized at least 26 planets. Have abducted at least 5,000 humans, males. Abduction of humans is carried out openly. Are considered by many alien races as parasites. They have visited Earth at least 200 times. Visited Earth for the first time during the prehistoric period, date unknown. They have the goal of colonizing Earth. That has not happened because of protection from other alien races, such as the races from the Council of the Five. Last sighting, September 2006 near Nome, Alaska, USA. Luviant and Kefik, aka Shining Ones. They come from constellation Vulpecula. They have met with at least 2 US presidents, as well as with USSR and, now, Russian leaders, and some high-ranking officials. They supply limited amounts of their technology to humans, in exchange for the freedom to conduct abductions. They do not involve other alien races in this process. They have a big role in Siberian and Tibetan culture. They have bases in those areas, hidden in the north face of the mountains. They have colonized over 40 planets outside our solar system. So far. Magell. They have 2 permanent bases somewhere in South America. They are 100% nocturnal, and do not interact with humans and are described by other races as being shy. They harvest insects and rodents by many thousands on a monthly basis. Reason, unknown. At least 3 of them have been under Brazilian military custody for the past 12 years. Last sighting, near Oaxaca, Mexico, in 2003. They are visited by their own kind, race, every 20 years. The next visit should be around 2016. Matrax. They come from constellation Delphinus, near Suarlosin. Despite their appearance, installs fear in humans when sighted. This race is not known to be aggressive. They can live up to 400 years. They have been visiting Earth for at least 4,000 years, but quite often during the 19th century. They served as inspiration for the alien race in the movie Independence Day. Note of Petro and me, this is the other second mention race, being used as inspiration for that same movie. Last sighting happened near Marseille, France, in 1996. Metili. They come from constellation Serpens, star Allier. Once related to the reptoids species, they are not, however, reptilians. First visit to Earth was only in June 13, 1965. They do not represent any threat to humans. Often seen around Antarctica. The reason for their visits is unknown. Last sighting, Antarctica, May 1, 1997. The Messengers. Probably the most enigmatic of all alien races. Not much is known all about them. They visit Earth around every 300 years. Their next visit is supposed to happen any time now. They do not reveal themselves, and they do not make direct contact with humans. They leave carvings, drawings and writings on rocks, as well as symbols in historical monuments. Their ships have the shape of a teardrop, and are silver in color.
Troppo Marco Polo, come ti smadno cos? Oh.
One of the things that comes up frequently, Linda, is this whole question of different kinds of ET.
Visste at du burde sjekke øynene like ofte som du sjekker tennene? Nei.
what we see and what we seem are but a dream within a dream.
Just follow messages of handwritten notes from the book.
Way of saying it. Who else has a question?
Palladians, hello.
Hello. You are?
David.
David, welcome. What's your question?
I heard today that there's great problems in the Anu world.
Yes, there are.
Pardon?
There are.
25 years.
We are.
The Prisoners of Dulce Base by Sherry Schreiner. I wanted to do something on the Dulce underground base in New Mexico, and I haven't worked up the nerve to do Thomas Costello's report. So I typed in Dulce and cages, those two words, on the Google Advanced Search. And I found this page, Alien Nation.
In a world where everything is upside down and backwards, one must ask if malevolent extraterrestrials.
Visste du at det første tegnet på at du trenger lesebriller, er at du holder det du leser lenger og lenger unna ansiktet? Nå trenger de aller fleste.
Det er 2 timer med film i dag, folks. Så det er at... Jeg vet ikke om jeg kan legge ut den her, eller ikke. Kanskje ligger den ut. Hvorfor ikke? Jeg vet ikke om jeg kan legge den her ut. Men jeg får skrive på hva nå. Jeg fryser sånn. Men jeg må lese litt. Men det er sånn som... Nei, det er vånings pålidet, så den er flere. Det er en par prøv og sånn. Så 80% på det. Det er de der psykiatrien og det der. Det eneste de gjør er 10 kroner for jusen sin med gunner, med 200%. 10 kroner på jusen på sparer. 10 kroner på kjøttpølsen og 10 kroner på krisetøy og smotisen og blomster, bladene og får ont i magen. Hitler har han ont i magen. Hitler har bröstbröst. Det finns ingen bunker och innelåst hela tiden. Det luckar sig in hela tiden. Och de kan lufta eller något annat. Det är helt... Så det... Jag tycker man har en själ som säger att vi kommer på sjukdomen nu. Det går så. Det går alltid okej. Nedlastning av lastat ner det där. Alien places Chicago. Nej, betonar du Chicago där med här som... kult å høre det der med de der så Downs syndrom. De er så tjukke i hodet, de er tjukke i huet. At de bare, av de at en av foreldrene de er så på en annen planet. Det er en hel rase. Ja, jeg er nok. Jeg kommer nok fra en annen planet, han er her over, men han er kjempetjukke. Og for at de skal få en alien-unge. Hvis jeg sier den ungen er fra jorden, så han må bli født på jorden. Han kommer fra en annen, faren er fra en annen planet, sant? Eller moren er fra en annen planet, så det er jo litt mye fra en annen planet de gjør da. Men han beklager du ikke rett hjem til pappa fordi vi er fra det. Ja, selvfølgelig rett hjem til pappa når det er fra pappaen min er fra en annen planet. Eller mammaen fra en annen planet, rett hjem til moren og faren. Det er mest det er klart man får besøke dem. Draco Marco Polo, kom og spise maten deres. Jeg gidder ikke gå på turning. Det gidder jeg ikke. Jeg kan ikke være noen datter, det skulle egentlig ikke se ut. Jeg kom på kaffe. Jeg skal si en positiv Jesus. Det er Jesus, han kommer på galehus. Han kommer tilbake og sier han Jesus, og da havner han på galehus. Jesus, jeg kom tilbake. Jeg var på galehus, det er Jesus. Sånn er det. Du kan språket. Du kan engelsk, så du klarer det fint. Du må tørre å spørre folk. Gå sånn på at nei. For det nei, så er ikke det så nøye. For nei, det var for sport, det var for prøvd. greiene. Koster ikke noe å spørre. Derfor sa jeg til deg, spør meg i hvert fall. Kanskje på at nei. Jeg har ikke lyst til å spørre. Jo, gå nå og spør. Gå nå og spør for oss, ikke så nøye. Sier du, nei, du kan ha... Du kan ha nøye, gå bort og spørre, og regner du med å få et nei, så jeg. Nå, får du hvert fall nei, så i hvert fall prøvd å spørre om noe. I hvert fall prøvd. Hvis du ikke prøver på noe, så kan du aldri på noen ting til. Du må prøve, nå må du spørre. Det koster ikke noen ting å spørre. Det er gratis, og det er... Folk spør om alt mulig alle steder. Det er normalt å spørre om ting. Det er ikke noe galt å spørre folk om noe som helst. Kan ikke få noe annet enn nei. Jeg spurte om han kunne kjøpe kjøttdeig for meg, naboen kunne kjøpe kjøttdeig for meg. Han skulle ikke ha noe, så hadde han kjøttdeig i frysen, så fikk jeg noe. Røyk. Spill. kjøpt mye over sin sparer. Så litt jævlig gøy å lese med deg. Han har gått vanskelig. Kåresgutten og Vetleby og verden. Ole Doldoffen. Månen fiskepudding. Månen liker pudding. Og så er vi. Og så holder jeg på, og så er det den er så skloven liker så litt den da. Hva de kaller seg. Knut Hamsun. Knut Hamsun, ja. Det var fint program dette egentlig. Det er jævla fint det med det der med, ja. Jeg skal snakke om stedet Mongolis, vi kaller det, så. Den får la mot seg fra en annen planet. Det er racist og sånn, så det er ikke kødd å på med det der. Og hvis ikke det tror jeg, vet du, men det er mange som ikke ingenting de ikke tror. Ingenting i det hele tatt. Det er kjempelove ting tror jeg, hvis jeg tror det. Men jeg skal ikke presse på meg for å tro noe som helst om meg. Hvis jeg tror det er fra noen planet, eller jeg kan bli mor og far fra noen planet, så vil jeg alltid som myndighet med en gang. Det gjør det. Mulig kabel, det er på badehus og alt mulig, sjekke rolig der, frem og tilbake, opp og ned mat og medisiner og testing og alt mulig dritt. Fugl når du sier hvor gammel. Spillegale. Jævla fugl. Men jeg fant det i hvert fall over. Jeg har andre tider nå. A Space Age. Det er det. Noen som stormer ER51. Storm ER51 er planlagt så på nettet at de skal, en hel haug med folk skal storme, en million mennesker skal storme ER51. Og jeg spiller med ER51 og alt mulig. Og det står jo en hume som har gjort meg. Og når jeg var ung, når jeg var 18 år, kan jeg si, jeg tør nesten ikke nevne ER51 en gang. Så redd var vi. Og så når jeg var 18 år, så tør jeg ikke å nevne Du skal til lenge, du tenkte repertoaren en gang. Jeg tror ikke jeg tør å nevne det til noen, si det til noen. Jeg begynner å snakke om noe med det. Vi hadde ikke video eller noen ting sånn. Vi kunne ikke... Det var fotoapparat. Vi hadde ikke video eller noe sånt videokamera og sånt. Det kostet jo fra 50 000 på videoapparat. Det er årslønn omtrent. Det er sånn som ingen hadde. En sånn videoapparat, jeg tror ikke det. Filmapparat og sånn som nå, det er jo helt utrolig. Og vet du hva, de tør ikke navnet til noen. Og det tenkte jeg skulle snakke med noen om. Men jeg tror jeg begynte å snakke litt om stigen om det. Stig, vet du hva synes du? Jeg har hørt mer av festival, stigen av ordene og lyden. Jeg har hørt mer av festival. Det er så hemmelig det er festival at det står ikke på karten engang. Så er det hemmelig, det står bare ikke på karten engang. Så er det hemmelig, så det er bare drit å snakke om. Det er pys og faen å snakke om. Jeg fikser ikke snakke om det. Så bare i faen snakke med det. Det er for bare skitter som jeg snakker med festival. Det er så jævla py at det ikke står på karten engang. Så skjønner du hvor jævla py det er å snakke med. Så bare i faen snakke om det liksom. Så sånn var det da. Det var virkelig... Vi hadde Star Wars. Det hadde vi, men det var det eneste det var Star Wars. Og det var bare film, det var ikke noe godt å tenke på. Det var bare film, så det... Money machines and copy machines. Det er en kopimaskin. Jeg kopierer film og sånt. Jeg kopierer meg nå. Og en kopimaskin kopierer papir. Pengemaskinen minimaskinen eller noe. Det er nok mye pengemaskiner. Jeg føler plenty. Plenty. 80% på alle klærne på kubusen og 80% på alt i Øystese, 80% på alt i Nordhamsund, 80% på alt i Bergen. Jeg vinner det og det og det. Jeg vinner, vi kommer til å begynne alt. Sånn går det planter. Sånn går det. Og da kommer det opp til sånn, planter 2 frø, sånn, planter du gift, så kommer det opp gift. Planter du gift, planter så kommer det opp gift. Planter du marihuana, planter så kommer det opp marihuana. Planter en fin blomst, så kommer det opp en fin blomst. Planter en giftig plante, planter en giftig blomst, så kommer det opp en giftig blomst. Sånn er tanken nå. Planter du en giftig tanke, så kommer det opp en giftig, ja. Og sånn er det med, og det... Skal du høste dette her til godt, sånt det er jo... Så det er viktig å plante fine ting. Det er det. Planter sånne ting til oss. Ja, og tar de planter sånne ting. Og sånn som det er, de planter sånne ting til oss. Det de gjør ikke sånn. Det er jo dødskjipt å gjøre det. Dødskjipt å gjøre det at det gjør noe sånt. Tenk på sånn på snuppe da. Hvis du ser en høy med råten tenner eller likhus eller noe sånt, så er det spist. Det er jo dødskjipt. Det er jo dødskjipt planter sånne ting som det. Ja. Så det er... Det er ikke farlig å røyke. Det er det ikke. begynte med denne planten som vi får se, så det heter starten den første antirøykedemonstrasjonen. Første antirøykedemonstrasjonen. Denne demonstrasjonen så det var Hitler som begynte planten. Så begynte han. Det er kjipt. Det var kjipt gjort. Jeg tror ikke på sykdom, jeg. Det gjør jeg ikke. Jeg tror ikke han blir syk. Det er en løgn, som sier det der. Som sier ikke det. Det er en løgn. Nå røyker kaffe. Hjemlig jævla til. Hjemlig døske. Jækla gøy bok. Det er jækla gøy bok. Denne månen er ikke så jækla god. Men Ole Doffen er jækla god. Ankas Vestli er jækla god. Denne videoen her må jeg legge ut. Det må jeg. Det er viktig at de med Downs er sånn som viter dette. Det er ikke viktig. Det er ikke flink på vite. At det bare er at de ikke er syke. Så er det bare til det at de er syke med brøyking og alt. Joho! Gratulerer. Nei, jeg griner enig med. Det er ikke mange som griner. Gud, det var godt med røyk. Gud, det var godt med røyk. Det var det. Planter en gift, planter en fin blomst, så kommer det opp en fin blomst. Planter en giftig blomst, så kommer det opp en giftig blomst. Så skal jeg hive stønt av giftig blomst eller fin blomst, hva vil du late? Du er gift, eller vil du ha fin blomst? Men jeg har mer fine tanker. Derfor må jeg tenke fine tanker om folk. Jeg tenker fine tanker i det store det. skikketrinn nå. Jeg tror det er dritt. Se fordi de skal justere. Så mange negative tanker. Hitler som gift. Jeg kjenner at det blir farlig. Farlig også. Alt det der røyking fra det sukkersyk fra det til med sykdom som er tull. Det er ikke sant at du er syk i hodet og det liksom sånn. Det er ikke sant, du skjønner, det er ikke sant. Det kan heller gjøre det ikke, men du ser bilen til naboen ødelagt. Det kan du ødelagt. Så det var syk i hodet. Hva skal jeg da fint rundt meg? Riktig. Jeg er jævla trøtt. Hvorfor er jeg så trøtt? Hvorfor er jeg så trøtt?